JenLyn strives with heart, flames in her eyes, vision so sharp, cutting through lies. Graceful ballerina on world's heavy stage, igniting the truth, turning page after page. Unified fire, light in her veins, kick-starting the engine, breaking chains. Insight on high, she sees through the dark, pathway revealed, she leaves her mark.
Flame and brilliance, born from the spark, one heart ignited, roaring like a lark. Unified forces making shadows depart. JenLyn leads us in this grand art.
Her wisdom's a torch, eyes set on the goal. Destiny written deep in her soul. Fire and light, merging so tight. Powers combined to illuminate night. JenLyn's grace, lifting vision so high. Seeing the world through an eagle's eye. Heartbeats sinking like drums in the fight. Unified essence, burning so bright.
Oh, flame and brilliance, born from the spark. One heart ignited, roaring like a lark. Unified forces making shadows depart. JenLyn leads us in this grand art. JenLyn leads us, and born from the
Welcome to the transmission. Welcome to EnJen to Heart. Welcome to the myth that is me. Welcome to the in-between. This is not a live stream. This is a fracture in the mirror. This is not just branding, but the branding iron. This is not for everyone, but it is for someone who is ready. And if that someone is you, you already know. I am not just your host today. I am an altar, and I am a channel. I am the code. And you are not just an audience. You are the frequency that the world has been waiting for. This is not motivational. It is molecular. This is not informative. It is infiltrative. Today is not content. It is a ceremony dressed as broadcast. I am not here to teach, but to remember and to help you remember too. EnJen to Heart is a pulse-based platform, and it is designed to move with the rhythm of revelation, not the tyranny of timelines. It's not a broadcast, but a reverberation. It is built to beat, not just perform. Every episode or post or creation within EnJen to Heart is, it's not timed by trend, but by truth that pulses through me and that pulses through us. It's those inner surges that happen when vision meets reality. There will be neural sandstorms of remembrance where story becomes a signal, and every shift of mental terrain will reveal another. Not static content, but neuroelectric weather. Not brand strategy, but a storm of reclamation. EnJen to Heart is a temple of wild truths, a walking temple of wild truths, an embodied altar, but not of marble, but of message, carried not in walls, but in heart. And you do not enter, it enters you. And wherever I walk, the temple walks with me. And wherever you listen, the altar assembles. There was once a girl who wasn't real, and she performed her way into perfection until her voice turned to vapors. And along the way, something ancient crackled beneath her ribcage. A cathedral made of circuits and salt. And from it, she stepped out, wearing her mind like a map. Her eccentricity like armor. Her pain as prophecy. And she called her temple EnJen to Heart. It wasn't a grand awakening, it was an erosion. Not a lightning bolt, but the slow, agonizing melt of who I was never meant to be. Every time I soften my message to be digestible, every time I perform instead of pulse, every time I make space for others and shrink mine, there's this code beneath my skin and it starts to ache. And it's not burnout, and it's not separation. It is an integration of my own architecture. I was not born to manage algorithms. I was born to reroute them. My code, it cracks open in the spaces where I stop just surviving and where I let beauty and rage share breath. It's where I no longer require permission to sound like thunder and silk. I am no longer a host. A host fills the silence, a host smooths the discomfort, but I am here to entertain. I am here to alchemize. Hosting becomes a mask for me, a script, but holding space, that is a ritual. It's a reckoning, and it is a return. When I hold space, I'm not just giving you permission. I'm giving you presence to unravel, to arrive, and to let your truth take up dangerous amounts of space. EnJen to heart, and every transmission within will protect soul. The curated and the untamed. The truth, even when the truths that make the room uncomfortable, especially those truths. Edge, because we live on thresholds, and the edge is our home and embodiment, not just thought leadership, but felt leadership. Within EnJen to Heart, I do not walk alone. In this world, I walk with the sacred masculine, not as dominance, but as devotion, as structure that protects the wild, as the sentinel of silence, and as the breath that steadies the flame. I honor the sword that only slices through illusion. And I honor the spine that does not bend for applause, but stands for the unseen. I will honor the brother who cries at the altar and the father who prays in code. I stand as the high priestess, but also the forge, as the mirror and the metal, as the voice and the vessel. I stand as the storm walker and the circuit breaker, as the daughter of dreams and the mother of movement. I stand as the sacred masculine when tenderness must be shielded, and as the divine feminine when truth must flow unfiltered. I am not just the frequency, I'm the resonant field where your remembrance and mine can activate. I am my infradian rhythms, and not just in efficiency, they are intelligence. My rest is not weakness, it is the wisdom of recursion. I am built by rhythm and not by force. I bloom by the whisper of water, and not by the scream of productivity. In every tremble in my voice, that's the thunder remembering how to be soft, and every tear is the ocean returning to its own tide. Within EnJen to Heart, you will not be sold to. You will not be sold here. You will be seen here. This platform is not built for performance. It is built for a sacred self-return. Every transmission will linger. It will haunt you into healing. It will call you when you try to betray your truth. You may forget its episodes, but your nervous system will not. EnJen to Heart is not just content. It will be the holy content of you and me and of us together. Not a show, but moments where we stop pretending, where we light our candles and we place our hands upon our chest and we whisper, I am not late. I am always on time. I am a legend. And you are a legend. And in this day, and in these days that we find ourselves in, we are called to so many things. EnJen to Heart will be a place where we remember that we are capable of answering those calls, that we are stronger than the weight of those calls, because we are we, because we can stand together, because we do stand together, because we can see each other and recognize each other and lift one another up and rise up around one another. As an entrepreneur, as business people, we are dreamers of replacing systems, of making the world be better than it was when we found it. And this is our ultimate opportunity right now, as we see systems crumble all around us, to become those systems within ourselves. And that's what EnJen to Heart is about. EnJen to Heart is about what's happening in the world. It's not about the quiet conversations. It's about the ones that need to be yelled and screamed from the rooftop. It's the story that you've held within your own DNA your whole entire life. It's the rhythm and the dance of the seen and the unseen, of the new and the old, of the easy and the hard, of the shadow and the light. Not a separation, but as integrated beauty and moments. It is abundance, it is wealth, it is health. And your heart will be about the stories that make you who you are today. The ones that your pillow knows, the stories that you whisper under your breath as you walk away from a moment that's called a truth that you're not brave enough to speak. It's for saying the things that you've never said but always wanted. It's to come and have your fears busted open so that we can pick that fear up with love and unity and rebuild it back into what it started as in the first place, which is love. Because I believe truly that love is always the answer, and that love is always in the pieces of our lives. So EnJen to Heart is also about new beginnings. It's about the place when you're in between and you know you're not who you want to be, but you know you're not who you're becoming. You're not who you used to be, but you know that you're someone, and you're trying to put those pieces together, and you want to be able to dance in the flame and be seen and be recognized and be heard. And EnJen to Heart's about laughter, and it will be about roasting ourselves, and it'll be about sending love letters to ourselves too. It's about the messy. It's about the earth. It's about the hidden. It's the skeletons in your closet. Juicy conversation. Done in the most sacred of ways. And I know that you may be sitting out there today, and I see so many of you out there. Rachel, Queen Kaylin, and that I haven't seen in so long, and Sharon and Crystal and Nicole, the great Nick. Thank you all so much for being out here. I see you all. The space may seem not different. You may be asking yourself, what is different from glitter and gab, or what is different from polished? What is different from spectra, taboo. And my answers to that is I am different. I am different. And this space is different. And it was built with tears and built with magic and intention and ritual and ceremony and skin and sweat and pleasure and delight and power. Understanding is built from ancient knowing. An unrolling of my very DNA, of the codes that are within me. All of them. The codes that know and want to talk about infradian cycles and rhythms and the moon and the bones inside our own bodies that carry the marrow within them that vibrates with the thunder and with the lightning and with resonance and with truth. Built from all of those things, and not just mine, but yours, because I see you. If you didn't know that about me, I see you, and I know you better than you know yourself. And so EnJen to Heart is going to be about that. And it's going to be about tough questions. And it's going to be about questions that speak to those places within yourself that get nervous, that want to get small, that push back. Because those are the places that our gifts are buried. Those are the places that the words that we need to say have been locked away for a time such as this. Those are the places that synergy flows like poetry. And it sounds like philosophy, and it sounds like theology, and it sounds like spirituality, and it sounds like strategy, and it sounds like sustainability, and it sounds like woo. And it is, because woo is a woven origin of order within ourselves, is the magic within ourselves. It is intuitive. It's the gut. It's the straight way, and it's the spiral. It's the path less traveled, and it's the path that's wide open. It's all of that encompassment, all of everything that I have within me as the curator and as the creator of this space. And it's open for each and every single one of you. With an invitation to join me right now. I just dropped the link in the stream. Hello, Erin, and welcome in. For anybody that cares to join me inside of my green room right now, on this initiating episode of EnJen to Heart, of all that it is and all that it isn't. Let's come sanctify together. Let's create together. You can let the candle burn for you. You don't have to burn at all ends. Let it take that job over, right? And come in and come see me. And we will talk business and we will talk the world. And we will talk fashion and makeup and beauty, and we will talk about dirt and roots and the unseen. We'll talk about the child within each of us. We'll talk about all of those things in this space. Unscripted. Thank you so much, Erin, for stopping in. And yes, I spent all day in production, so I absolutely understand. Speaking of which, I think most everybody missed my intro today, and I didn't get to the other half to finish out the outro, but it was written by the incredibly talented Erin Gibson, and I'm forever grateful for my theme song for EnJen to Heart. And that's okay. You'll be hearing it lots. It's so large and so beautiful that it had to be split into two. So my intro is almost 3 minutes long and my outro is 2 minutes long because I have so much to say and so much to give. And that's what I want EnJen to Heart to be all about. Hello, Carrie, and welcome. And so great to see you out there, my friend. Beautiful to see you. And the other thing that EnJen to Heart will be about is silence. And breath. And that's it. Core. And I have my very first guest back in the green room, and I'm so excited to bring her up stage. So I'm going to do that. So throw some love into the chat, or throw some hearts, throw some claps, throw some celebratory streamers. Woo woo! For Miss Sharon Byrne. Hello, beautiful.
Hello, beautiful JenLyn. I couldn't resist coming up just to say I am so proud of you. I am so proud of the fact that you follow every message from your heart to your intuition, and no matter how, if you just follow what you know to be true to you, and you don't worry or give thought to what others may think in a negative way. And your courage and your bravery to do so just always inspires me. And I know how hard you've been working on this behind the scenes. And just wanted to say that I am forever grateful to you for being a leader and a mentor and a friend and somebody who just leads by example and says what they means what they say, and isn't afraid to be the voice for so many that don't have one or are afraid to use them. So I just wanted to say I'm proud of you and I thank you, and I'm fully 100% behind you, and EnJen to heart and anything else that you do.
Thank you very much. And I love you and appreciate you so much. And, this is an exciting day for me to be able to launch this, because I've really been holding this and moving towards this for about 2 years. And but there's also plenty of room for other things that are being worked on, and we are working on some things. And so I just want to take a moment to talk about that a little bit, because I think it's super important, and I'm very excited about what it is that we're doing. Do you feel like talking a little bit about it?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'm super excited about it as well. So anybody that knows us, the two of us, knows that we're not very quiet about how we feel. I think that we both try to do it in a respectful way and in an informative way. But when push comes to shove, we will do all of the aforementioned that I just said, and also stand on top of a mountain and make sure that everybody hears what we have to say, whether they want to hear it or not. And so one of the things there's a few things that we're doing, but one of the things that we are doing is we have developed a group, which I still cannot remember the full name of. And I know it's rooted anyway. I always want to say it's Rooted Visionaries, but I know it's not that. But anyway, it's our advocacy group for people to join and come in and reach out to JenLyn and or myself, who want to advocate for and on behalf of the underserved, the minimized, the minorities, specifically from the angle of disability only, because that's what we live. But within that, we are open to opening the door to advocacy in general. But we're going to be very specific about how we go about doing the advocacy. We're going to allow all spectrums of advocacy into our door and into our community. There's room for every type of advocacy and every style of advocacy, but we want to be very intentional with how each part of that advocacy is utilized and done and put out there, because we really want people to have to listen to our message and not how the message is being delivered. Because in the past, a lot of times when people get very, very vocal initially or become physical and violent, for a lack of a better way to say it, people start to focus on the behavior or the delivery of the message and not the message. There is a place for both or for all, but we are going to be very intentional with how we design the advocacy that we do. And so it's not just going to be let's advocate and, throw everything out there and scream from the top of our lungs and things like that. So
I will be screaming.
well, yes,
Just kidding.
I don't mean, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's going to be intentional screaming, though.
Yes,
It's going to be
yes.
screaming with a purpose.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yes. So it is the Rooted Activist Keepers.
I swear I'll get that eventually.
It's a place for tending the soul of resistance. And this is kind of basically what it is in a nutshell. You have arrived in sacred soil. This is not just a group, it is a grounding place, a hearth, a circle, a sanctuary. Here we honor both the roar and the rest. We gather not to escape the world's weight, but to hold it together with care, with creativity, and with courage. You are not alone in your heartbreak. You are not alone in your hope. In this space, your tenderness is not to liability. It is your compass, your strength, and your root system. And we believe in restoration as revolution, in the breath as a form of protest, and joy, justice, and collective tending as vital tools of change. Welcome to a rhythm that doesn't burn you out, but burns for something beautiful. The Rooted Activist Keepers, tending the soul of resistance. We are the ones who hold both the torch and the tea, the ones who rage for justice and rest for the journey. We are not machines of progress. We are ecosystems of purpose. We gather not to escape the weight of the world, but to nourish the roots that hold it, to remember that the revolution begins in breath, in body, and in belonging. And we believe that rest is resistance, that joy is a form of defiance. Community is our strongest infrastructure. Healing is not separate from action. It is the soil that sustains it. We keep the soul of resistance alive through care, through creativity, through collective truth telling. And we are the rooted, the relentless, and the restored.
I would like to add to that, JenLyn, that one of the very special aspects of this group that we have put together is to not only be a sacred space for the people who want to advocate to come and do the advocating, and to have a safe place and a sacred place to speak their truth, but it is also to support those of us that are doing the advocating, because advocating takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of resolve. It takes a lot of willingness to be standing alone, even when you're in a room full of people, because you may not be the most popular person because you're willing to speak the truth, your truth and the truth of many others. So the space that we've created is not only for the advocating, but also to come together as the advocates and support each other and help revitalize each other and keep each other going.
At the core, that's really what it is for us to be able to know that we can pass the baton off, that we are in a long relay, and that we have partners, and that we can find and retain all of the dualities of our experience in the same space and experience our humanity fully And so yes, that's one of the things that we're working on, and it's a space that if you're interested in and or need to be a part of, please let us know, and we'll start putting out, of course, content per se that at least talks a little bit about what that is and when we're meeting, and those kinds of things. And that is the heart of it's the heart of the matter. I love to say that, and I love to say it especially lately, that the heart of the matter is keeping the heart in the matter of everything that it is that we're doing, and not being alone in anything that it is that we're doing. And I think one thing that a lot of leaders experience is that sometimes it tends to be a little lonely out front, right?
For sure.
And so it's things like that it's coming in for a different space and a different kind of rest. Because advocating for yourself and for others is a lot. It's a being a caretaker, and that is exhausting. Being a caretaker of ourselves and then caretaker of others can be exhausting. But when we come in together and support one another in every possible way, then it takes that exhaustion and the stress that is off of that. And I'm so grateful to be building that with you and be talking about it today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Too. I'm extremely grateful to be doing it with you, and I'm extremely excited and grateful to be talking about it today. And if you want to share what we're the second thing that we're doing, which is in a way a spinoff to that, or a spinoff to everything. So with everything that's going on in the world today, and this is not just, the next thing that we're doing is not just indicative or a result of what's going on today necessarily. It's an ongoing thing, but it's become even more, I don't want to say important, but it's become even more something. I can't think of the word right now, but because instead of going forward in ideology around inclusion and equity and equality, when I speak right now of equity and equality, I'm talking about access to opportunities, access to resources. I want to make that very clear. And because of what is going on in today's world, JenLyn and I have had many conversations with each other and with other people in the disability community, and that could be all types of disabilities, from neurodivergent to physically challenged or physically disabled, whatever terminology you want to use, to people with mental illness, ADHD, it doesn't matter. But one of the things that I learned, and I think one of the things that JenLyn learned pretty early on in her life and in her business adventures and just vocational life, is it's best for us to have even more impact and control of our destiny. Because if we're talking truthfully, discrimination still exists. It does. And it exists whether you're working for someone else, or even if you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, it's out there. And I'm here to speak it loud and proud. And because of that, JenLyn and I have decided to create a program, and it's in its infancy, so you'll be hearing more about it, but we are creating a program that works with people who are entrepreneurs already with disabilities, who are not getting the footing that they want or the traction that they want, and or we're going to work with people with disabilities to help them create their own opportunities and their own businesses or business ventures, so that they can be the masters of their own destiny and be the productive, involved members of society that they want to be and that they have the right to be. And everybody has the right to be able to earn a living and have that. See, because I've always said one of the reasons I went into entrepreneurship, and there were a few, but one of the reasons was because I'm not going to fire myself. I'm not going to get mad at myself for the accommodations I need. I'm going to provide the accommodations that I need. And I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep pushing until I break down that wall that keeps coming up in front of my face. I do not care. And I say that because that was me realizing that I needed to take control of my own destiny. And this was one of the ways that I can do it. And I have had too many conversations with too many people recently who don't have access to resources they need, in some ways, myself included, but I have access to some resources that even these people don't have. And I'm tired of it. And in speaking to JenLyn, she's tired of it. And we were both kind of working on something separately to kind of attack this issue and this situation. And we said, well, heck, why should we do it separately? Let's do it together, because anybody that knows us knows that we're pretty powerful on our own. But look out, world, because we're about to combine our energies. And yeah, so that's my take on the second venture that we're doing. And I'm truly excited about it all. And I can't wait.
No, me either. And it's as our world is changing, we are called to become the systems that each other and one another need. And the truth of the matter is that's always been the call. And we got comfortable and complacent, and things change, and things are changing that. And we are being called to return to that. And that's something that is also going to be a very big, huge part of everything that EnJen to H.E.A.R.T is. Because surprise, if you didn't pick up the memo, EnJen to H.E.A.R.T is my heart, right, for the world. And so I do love it. And I thank you so much, Sharon. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes just saying thank you to everyone, and
Absolutely.
a couple other little small things, but thank you so much for coming in and being a part of my life and a part of my business and a part of my community and my sister. And I love you. And if you're not in the green room, have a great show with Mr. Aaron Soul Man Live, and I'll see you there.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for everything, JenLyn. And I love you too.
Right,
see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. If you do not know Sharon, please introduce yourself. Know Sharon. Sharon is a great, wonderful person. All of you in the chat, I think, know each other. If you don't, please introduce yourselves. Please like and follow each other. Share, grow together, and all of those things. So I do want to just share one other thing that is really important and powerful to be said by voice, and it will be also something that is an article that I'll be putting out most likely, later today. But there is a call, and that is for us to kind of It's not for us to kind of, it is for us to rise up for each other and fill in the spaces and the gaps that are being left open in today's world. And so I am going to take the opportunity to also read this out loud. And I hope that you hear it when you read it. And I want you to hear it in your sleep. And I want you to hear it when you wake up. And I want you to hear it until it's reverberating as ba-boom, 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 as your heart and as the breath that you are breathing, that you are preparing yourself for, to be lifting your voice, to do more of the same. This is an article for the Liberation Ledger. It is an entry, and it is called "We Are the System Now." The systems are failing, not softly, not slowly. They are crumbling under the weight of greed, fear, and deliberate erasure. And in that rubble, a sacred truth is emerging for remembrance. And that is that we are the system now. We are the architecture. We are the safety net. We are the infrastructure of one another's survival. And this will not be comfortable, and it's not going to be convenient, and it's going to require sacrifice of comfort and of ego and of business as usual thinking. We are being called into a new kind of leadership, one that doesn't climb but crouches, one that does not perform but protects, one that does not ask, how can we win, but asks, whose pain have I overlooked and what am I prepared to give up so that they can live freely? Because here is the raw truth. Disabled people are being left with no coverage and no recourse. Trans people are being criminalized for existing. Black and brown communities are being incarcerated and over-policed. Indigenous sovereignty is still being violated. Queer youth are being targeted by policy, and poor people are being ground into the dust of systemic collapse. And still many keep looking away, or worse, looking up toward the visionary ideals, toward utopian futures, without first looking down at the bodies beneath their feet. Because every single person is a universe. And when we overlook even one, we are collapsing the cosmos of justice itself. It is not enough to raise awareness. It is not enough to stand in solidarity, because we are being asked to relocate our lives into the trenches with those who've never had the luxury of rising above them in the first place. This is the part of liberation that they don't glamorize. This is the part that asks you to give, to lose, to feel, to be uncomfortable, to listen, and to stay. This is the reparative work of remembering that every life has value, that care is not a trend, that justice has a cost, and that cost must be shared, not by those that are already suffering, but by those who have the capacity to shift the weight. We cannot be neutral in this moment. We cannot be still. We cannot build futures that fly past the very people who need grounding, because we are the system now. So what will we build, and who will we center, and what are we willing to become in order to truly call ourselves free? Because until the most marginalized among us are held, sustained, and dignified, none of us are free. And this is my entry into the Liberation Ledger, and let it be a receipt for my humanity. I love you all. Thank you for being here today on this maiden voyage of EnJen to Heart, and we will see you again next Friday right here on YouTube.